Could Bryan Danielson be undergoing surgery after All In? Plus, AEW quietly sign a top indie prospect, and WWE are interested in another AEW talent. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So we're just over 2 weeks away from All In now?
It would have been
Less than 2 weeks away.
2 weeks on Saturday, yeah.
Oh my days. We're going to London, everybody. And Bryan Danielson and Swerve will headline at Wembley Stadium in just a week and a bit's time. And ahead of that main event, we saw Bryan Danielson on Collision reveal something about his future.
Yeah, he's sitting down with JR and he says, the odds are I'm going to have to get neck surgery before the end of this year. That's the reality of it. That's something I've accepted is coming down the pike relatively soon. I was listening to Kerrang! Radio last Friday. John Mahon had a big interview with Bryan Danielson, and he also said the same there. So this is not just a part of the Collision scripts. He's telling the shoot interviewers that as well.
This is part of a thing that he's saying to a few other people. So does that put into question whether or not we see a title change at Wembley?
Oh, has this been done on purpose, Tom? Get your tinfoil hats out, everybody. Oh, now we're not expecting him to win, and then ba-boom!
And then all of a sudden, ba-boom, he wins it.
He does, yeah.
But then loses it soon after and has the surgery anyway. Potentially, Bryan Danielson having some surgery after Wembley. Meanwhile, as a legendary career is winding down, another one is on the rise, as AEW apparently have quietly signed a top prospect in wrestling.
Big Tommy B, as we know him over here in the UK.
We know him as Tommy B?
Tommy B.
Tommy B.
Tommy Billington.
I knew him as one half of the Dynamic Duo.
Is that from that there WCPW?
It was indeed. I'm calling them the Dynamic Duo.
All those years ago. Tommy Billington, of course, has had matches in AEW against Lysa Takeshita, Dax Harwood, and apparently, according to Fightful Select, who got the huge scope on this one, he's been quietly signed to AEW.
According to talent close to Tommy, they say that he has been signed by All Elite Wrestling. The talent that we spoke to also claims that there was some NXT interest. Now, what of the other half of the Dynamic Duo of the Billington Bulldogs of Mark Billington? Well, Mark Billington's been injured. This is an awful time for Mark Billington, but Tommy has been really impressing people. It's weird to watch Tommy Billington because
he has the same face as his uncle.
Yeah, it's like a time traveler in the sense that it's like Tom Billington is here now, and with a few more years on him, that's a guy there.
Yeah, especially that match against Dax Harwood. I remember it being on Collision. I hope it was, because I remember there being red ropes, right? So It wasn't Collision, I'm very sorry. And you just tell us the sort of wrestling that Dax Harwood and the sort of wrestling he's very much into, because he says all the time, I'm very much into this kind of wrestling. Tommy B is very much one of those wrestlers.
Yeah, one to watch. And obviously AEW getting him signed up and snapped up on the quiet. Talking of companies snapping up stars, WWE NIL athlete Macy Russell from Team USA. She won a gold medal on the closing weekend of the Olympics in the 100-meter hurdles. Triple H himself congratulated Russell on becoming an Olympic champion, and I genuinely think she's somebody that we could see turning up in NXT.
Well, who else can say they've got a gold medal in professional wrestling?
No one else.
No one ever. No one has ever won a medal in any kind of sport, in any kind of Olympics ever before.
Not even with a broken freaking neck.
Nah, that's impossible, Tom.
Nope, not happened at all. She is obviously part of the WWE NIL program, which offers standout athletes a pathway into the world of sports entertainment and professional wrestling.
It's an interesting one as well, because Tavion Heights was at the Olympics years ago. He's now making things happen in NXT with his big old belly-to-belly suplexes and stuff like that. Chad Gable's got history. One thing those two lads don't have at the Olympics is one of those shiny things that dangle down.
Yeah. A big old... I mean, they might have done. Might need to check that. But gold medals as well. But, I mean, obviously, we joke. But, of course, Kurt Angle in 96 did the same thing.
Imagine if there's a comment going, well, Ross and Tom, I don't know if you're aware about this, but Kurt Angle did in 1996.
I think you'll find that Kurt Angle is also a wrestler. But no, I think Russell's going to be a big star. Over the weekend, there's been loads of wrestling-flavoured goodness happening over the weekend across here as well. Scrapper-Mania took place in Wolverhampton and in Dublin over 2 nights. And it was at the Dublin leg that a massive announcement was made for OTT's 10th anniversary show.
Yeah, I saw the video of this on Twitter over the weekend. There was a little video package plays. It's all dark, and then JD appears on screen. Then JD McDonough appears, big pop. Then Finn Balor appears, even bigger pop. They're going to go back to OTT, where it all began. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Well, are they going to get some Irish chocolate?
Probably, yes. straight from the dairy milk factory that is actually in Ireland. That I thought that was in Birmingham, but apparently it isn't.
Oh, is it not in Bourneville anymore?
No.
What?
Yeah, that was my big thing back in the day. I was like, they can't take our chocolate.
I should never have left. So to October 26th, the National Stadium Dublin will host the Judgment Day. Finn Balor and JD McDonough going back to OTT.
Yeah.
That's massive. And it's another indicator of WWE's new attitude towards wrestlers working elsewhere. Obviously, we've seen guys like Tavion Heights, Charlie Dempsey doing stuff over in Japan. And obviously, Charlie Dempsey popping up and Tavion Heights popping up in NXT. Shayna Baszler doing stuff at Bloodsport. And we're seeing more and more of it, which is exciting. And obviously, and then working with OTT, I think that'll be a wonderful little addition for their 10th anniversary show.
Oh, it's to get your ass through the door sort of move, isn't it?
Yeah.
These old lads have gone and made a thing of themselves. They're coming back home.
And I tell you what, OTT became sort of the wrestling crossroads of the world over the weekend, because not only did you have JD McDonough and Finn Balor, WWE Tag Team Champions, announced for the October anniversary show, but AEW's Danhausen won the OTT No Limits title on the Saturday.
With help from former NXT, WWE, current Impact TNA guy, Big Damo.
Yeah.
Killian Dane back in the day. All the worlds are uniting. What? I think all the universes are crossing over. That's what I meant to say.
I think OTT became the wrestling service station of the world, where everybody's just popping by that weekend. We'll end on some news regarding an AEW talent that WWE might be potentially snapping up. Who are we talking about, right?
Yeah, Fightful Select are saying that one of the top names company believed was staying and speculated that he re-signed, but last week that wasn't the case. Of Daniel Garcia's current AEW status, Garcia, as of then, would see his deal expire this fall. There is interest in Garcia from the WWE, Tom said there, as well as interest in retaining him from All Elite Wrestling. This is the real bidding war of 2024, looks like.
This is the true bidding war of 2024.
Garcia, who is just 25 years of age, I looked on Wikipedia before I came downstairs there, which is sickening for all concerned. He's way too young to be that good. Garcia tried with the WWE before signing for AEW several years ago.
He's one of those guys that I could see entering the NXT system.
Yes.
At some point, maybe not now. Maybe AEW might see that there is interest and get him signed up. But he's somebody I think that would benefit from having a system like NXT and working through there, maybe.
I don't know. I just get the feeling from watching Daniel Garcia, how he's been presented in AEW. He's very, very young still, but he's been quite the focal point this year when he's been active this year. I just think he's more AEW than he is NXT/WWE.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just think that fits him better, and I just think they would be silly to let him go. So Tony Khan, open the checkbook.
But it comes at a time as well where WWE have reportedly shown interest in Ricky Starks. And obviously they've signed Ethan Page away from AEW/Ring of Honor as well. So there's something to be said. There's people obviously keeping an eye on what AEW and Ring of Honor are doing, because they're going, okay, there's some loot that we can plunder there. We haven't seen Daniel Garcia since that horrific attack by MJF a few weeks ago. Thankfully, our very own Jack the Jobber was not subject to the same fate when he went to meet MJF in London this past weekend.
Or was he, Tom? Because he's normally on these news videos on a Monday, but I don't see him here today. Is the left side of Jack the Jobber's body no longer working?
That is a very good point, actually. Well, in what may be his final video ever, you can see Jack interviewing him. We'll still put it out, you know. We're not, you know, we've got mouths to feed.
Make a good thumbnail, wouldn't it?
Do you know what? If Jack did befall a terrible fate to MJF, can you at least send us a photo of it, because we'll use it in the thumbnail. But Jack and MJF had a magnificent conversation, which I've been very privy to over the weekend, and it's fabulous. MJF really open about not only the state of British culture, not only John Cena, Shane McMahon, Tony Khan, but also all the backstage drama around him and Britt Baker.
Yep.
He's an open book, is that guy, and we had him for about an hour, and you will hear it sooner rather than later. It'll be on later today on the YouTube channel, in a couple of hours from now, I would say.
Yes.
Very excited for you to hear that. He was a good man, but if you can just send whatever's left of Jack back, we'd be greatly appreciative. Thank you. Anything you want to plug?
No, nothing. Not at all. Things will happen. You'll see them when they do.
Watch it. It's going to move. We'll have more wrestling news for you whenever at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.